Hello, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the session so far and you had already some interesting talks. My name is Jost. I'm the co-founder of Code Academy Berlin, and also I'm a job coach for quite some time in Berlin. Plus, I have been working for the job center in Berlin. This is why I decided to talk a little bit about the Bildungsgutschein, and I hope you are all a bit familiar already with the concept. So it's basically an education voucher that you can get, which can support you in finding a right training for you, and you can apply to different courses for you. What I want to talk about is it's basically a little bit of a whistleblower workshop, if you want. I will give you some insights on the strategies on how to convince basically your consultant agent to give you a voucher. For any questions, we will have some time for that as well in the end. And then I would say, let's dive right into the presentation. I uploaded it as well here, so you should be able to find it, I hope. Otherwise, of course, just let me know and write me afterwards, and then we are good to go. For now, I wouldn't allow any microphone or video calls, just so we keep the connection stable. If you have any questions, please write in the chat. That's, I think, a bit easier. There's also the question segment. Yeah, you can follow me on LinkedIn. I will share all of that later. So if you cannot download the slides, then I'm happy to answer your question or share it with you afterwards. But since we have limited time only, let's jump right into it, and let me share my screen. I hope you can all see it. All right. So, question is how to get a Bildungsgutschein. And again, the Bildungsgutschein is the education voucher that the job center or the Agentur für Arbeit offers. So for those of you who are not from Germany or not in Germany, it's basically the governmental agency of employment, which can help you in training. However, this idea comes with a little bit of catches, and I would like to talk about that in a minute. And for now, let me just introduce real quick. So my name is Jost Lepère. As I said, I'm one of the co-founders of Code Academy Berlin. We are a local bootcamp in Berlin. We are now almost 2 years old, and we train in web development and data science. My position here is the job and career coach, which I have been doing for over 7 years now in Berlin. And as you see, I have been a former job center consultant. And this is why, again, I chose this topic to maybe get you some insights on how you can apply for this education voucher or the Bildungsgutschein. About my background a little bit, I originally come from politics and history, but did my master's as well in business coaching and change management. But for today, let's stay focused on the job part and on the Bildungsgutschein. So again, I say it's a little bit of whistleblowing. It's not really giving away crazy secrets, but I hope I can support you a little bit in the idea on how getting the Bildungsgutschein. So what we will cover in this talk is basically the 3 steps that you need to take for getting the Bildungsgutschein. And it's, if you want, it's kind of like a two-sided process. So first of all, The one step you have to take is the registration with the Agentur für Arbeit or the job center. And then the second part is you need to have a consultancy talk with your agent at the job center or Agentur für Arbeit. For the rest of the talk, I will be keeping saying the job center, but there is not much difference to the Agentur für Arbeit when it comes to the consultancy call. So just to make it a bit easier, I will keep saying job center. So I will cover real quick what you need for the registration, what are the requirements, then what is the Bildungsgutschein, what is covered, how to ask for it, and last but not least, I will give you some tips on how you can prepare for your talk with the job center, what you need to have in mind, and then we will have some room to answer some questions afterwards. Okay, then let's jump right into it. So first of all, you need to be registered as either unemployed or open to work at the Agentur für Arbeit. This you can do in basically every job center or the Agentur für Arbeit, but especially in Berlin, we have 16 different job centers, so you should check which one is responsible for your district. But you can go in person, you can go online on arbeitsagentur.de, or you can call the hotline. It's up to you how you want to register. Please be aware, especially if you use the hotline, they only speak German, so you need a translator. Same might happen if you go in person. Most of the times English is okay, but all the documents are going to be in English, in German, and so please make sure to bring somebody or that can help you with this, or you need to make a second appointment where you can bring a dolmetscher or someone to translate for you. In order to register for the job center, you need to be registered citizen in Germany, meaning you can only register if you have a residency in Germany. There are some workarounds if you are, let's say, homeless, for example, or you don't have a flat, but then it's getting a bit more complicated and they will check one-to-one. If you are eligible for any support. Generally speaking, you need to be registered citizen, you need to have a health insurance, and if you are enrolled in university at the moment, you cannot receive any financial support. However, you can still ask for consultancy when it comes to the job search. Again, cannot stretch this out enough. Most communication is going to be in German. And also your visa needs to be in a status, for example, as a job seeker, that you can get social benefits in general. There is usually a paragraph in your visa which tells you if you are allowed or not. I will not dive too deep into this topic. That's a whole topic on its own. But so far, that's your first step. You need to do this first. And then once you are registered and the paperwork is done for this part, you will receive an appointment for a consultancy, or they will call you later and make an appointment. Sometimes if you go in person, they give you a first appointment right away. And the second part, so basically the consultancy about the Bildungsgutschein, that's the topic I want to focus on for today. And let me give you a little insight about what is the Bildungsgutschein actually. So if you're a consultant and you both decide, hey, I need any sort of necessary training that can help me find a job in Germany, they might offer you a voucher. And this voucher usually is valid for 3 months. So you need to make sure that the training you are seeking for starts in this period of time. It doesn't have to cover the full duration of the course, but the starting point must be in those 3 months. One thing you need to keep in mind is, that's a little bit hard to translate, but I underlined the point necessary, because there is a reason for that. Each profile of you is different, and your consultant will always check the necessity for a training. And you might not always agree on that, because the number one priority in the job center is not training. It's always first getting you a job. So if they believe you have a very strong profile and you should be able to find a job, any kind of job without the training, then you really need to push for it. And but it might happen that they say, sorry, but we don't believe a training is the right choice right now. So you can only ask for a training, but there is no law that says like you are eligible for it and you can count on it. So there is no guarantee that they will give you this education voucher. Generally speaking, what will be covered by the voucher? If you find a boot camp, for example, or any sort of training that it is registered and it needs to be certified to be eligible for the Bildungsgutschein. So one good source to look for these courses is the so-called Kursnet. I will write it in the chat in a second, where you can actually search for all certified classes, which can be language classes, can be coding classes, you name it. No? And once you have decided, okay, I want to join a particular course, you talk to your agent, they approve it and say, okay, we are good to go. Then you need an offer from the school, and they can basically make a contract, and with this voucher, all fees will be covered. So you don't have to pay anything. The fees will fully be covered, as well as the transport costs to go to school every day. If it's an on-site class, like for example at Code Academy Berlin, we are a full-time training, and so your transport costs will be covered. As if you have kids, your childcare, for example, if you need to extend your kita times, or you need to get a nanny, anything like that, there can be additional support on the financial part as well. Generally speaking, do I need to be unemployed? Yes and no. The general idea is that you are unemployed, open to work, and you can prove you need a certain training to find a job. However, we, for example, had lately a student coming for data science, and she stayed with her company, and the company covered the training for her. So there is an option if you say, like, in order to keep my job with my current company, I still need this training. I hope that's kind of understandable, but so you do not necessarily have to be unemployed. The second option would be that basically you can talk with your company, say like, okay, in order to keep up with my job and be safe for the future, I need additional training, and then your company basically can apply for the voucher for you. But that's more the exception. generally speaking, who can help with the support and with any questions you might have. I would guess that every bootcamp you talk to, they have some sort of a specialist, a office manager or admission trainer, something like that, that can help. In our case at Code Academy Berlin, that's going to be me or my colleague Sarah. Again, in the end of the presentation, I will show my email and LinkedIn. So whenever you want to get in touch, I'm always happy to help. And last but not least, the training center that you want to apply for needs to have a so-called Maßnahmennummer, so that the class needs to be registered with the job center, so the voucher can actually cover the fees. So whenever you basically want to apply for a Bildungsgutschein, you need to make sure the class you are looking for is certified. Let me just go back to the chat real quick to see if there's any questions so far. So the questions came up, are they only available in Germany? I think they are. This is really something special in Germany. However, I know, for example, in the US, there is something like the GI Bill or anything like that. So once you are coming from any country from inside the European Union, you can always apply for that. And if you are from outside of the European Union, it depends a bit on your visa status. Okay, so again, jumping back a little bit to what I said before, once you are done with your registration with the job center and you ask for an appointment to talk about the voucher, you will receive an appointment at some point. And what I want to talk with you about today is how to prepare for this. So I underlined in the slide before, when I'm jumping back here, your task for this whole appointment is to show that you need this training. And there is no way for you to find a job without this training. So I basically have 3 advices for you on how to prepare this. And the first one is show and tell. So obviously, let's say you want to become a web developer, or you want to learn some coding skills for your current job or a similar job. What I will always do is bring at least 2 or 3 job examples from, for example, LinkedIn, that prove that these skills are needed. So for example, let's say you want to learn JavaScript or Python or any other coding language. Look out for 2 or 3 job descriptions that you can print and bring along and say like, look, as a web developer, I need JavaScript, I need Python, or I need those skills that will be covered in the training. So basically, you need to prepare and show your agent that these skills are really necessary for you to find a job. The second thing I would bring is an overview of jobs out there. So each job center has their own database where they can see like, okay, are there open positions for web developers? Are there open positions for data analysts or for UX designers, whatever it is? But still, I would print an overview, and I mean literally print, because most likely the talk you will have is going to be in person, and so not every agent will accept PDFs, or so I would literally print it and just go on LinkedIn, type in Junior Web Developer Berlin, and show them, look, there's 1,800 open positions at the moment. So that's a very good argument towards you to show, like, look, guys, the market is very strong. There is beginner jobs. There's plenty of beginner jobs, and this way you can convince them to basically invest in this training for you. The second thing that I would recommend is I'm sorry, this is a very long German word, I know. It's the so-called Bildungszielplan. This document is basically, how can I say this? A mission plan that will be, kind of planned every year. So the Senate of Berlin and the job centers sit together each year and decide what should we focus on in training. And web development, data science, also cybersecurity, for example, has been on this list for at least 5 years. So again, in order to prepare for your interview with your recruiting agent, I would bring this Bildungszielplan because it really says JavaScript, it says web development, it says data analysis. So basically the job center themselves, they said we should finance trainings in web development, in data science, in cybersecurity. So you can basically prove to them, like, look, you guys said we need to educate in this direction, which is a very strong argument for you. Last but least, know your stuff. Be very specific on what you want to learn. So you cannot just say, I want to learn something with tech, or I want to learn something with media, or something with websites. You need to be specific. So if you have your talk with your agent, let them know, I want to be a full stack developer. I want to be a business intelligence analyst. I want to be a cybersecurity specialist with this and this and this and this of coding languages. So again, talk to your boot camps, talk with us, talk with the other boot camps that you might be interested in. Try to find a very specific material that you can bring, and usually the boot camps can provide that for you. Get in touch with them, and again, you need to do your research, and you need to prepare your case basically and bring arguments that support you. One problem that you might face is that your agent might not know all of these professions. So maybe he doesn't know what a cybersecurity specialist is. Maybe he doesn't know what a UX designer is. So be prepared to explain, and be prepared to show that the market is there, and be prepared to know what you want. Once again, this talk is going to be in German, most likely. Officially speaking, the agents from the job center are not allowed to give you a talk in English without a translator. Most of them do speak English, I would guess, but and sometimes they are open to talk in English and to communicate, but generally speaking, you might need to prepare to bring either someone who can translate for you, or before the appointment, they give you the option to ask for an official Dolmetscher or official translator to come to your talk. Okay, so again, to sum up, be prepared, bring your translator. One point I didn't mention so far, be patient, plan in advance. The whole process of applying and getting to this education voucher, it can go very fast, but they won't give it to you right away. Usually they take their time to think it over and get back to you. Plus, in the job center, still a lot of the communication is still handled in actual paper and not so much over email and PDF. So usually the whole process can take between 4 to 6 weeks. Keep that in mind. And if you, for example, our next bootcamp starts in end of May. So if you would like to join us right now, you should already apply for it, because it's already getting tense, even though we have 2.5 weeks left. But you need to hurry up a little bit, and you cannot expect to basically show up to the job center and receive this voucher the next day. Yeah, then I said that before, know what you want, be specific, know the position, for example, web developer or full stack developer that you want to go for, know all the coding languages you need to learn, and prove the need for it. Bring support material, as I said, bring job descriptions, bring the Bildungszielplan, and bring an overview on LinkedIn, how many positions are out there, and to support your case that this is really, really an important training you need in order to get started working in tech. All right. I'm open for questions in a second. Please feel free to ask me anything right now. Maybe you can write in the chat and I will go through some questions. Or if you prefer, you can always contact me if you are interested in our bootcamp, of course. We do have an open door day as well on tomorrow for data science. Or you can drop me an email. It's jost@codeacademyberlin.com. Or you can reach out on LinkedIn. Again, Jost Lepère. Not too many names like that out there, I think. I will also write it in the chat. Plus, you can download the presentation here. And then let's see if you have any questions. Let me just stop presenting real quick. All right. So now the first question I see is medical attest to apply for a voucher. That's usually not happening. So if you want to apply for training, for example, in tech, I don't think they would ask for a medical exam. What if they ask you first to go to German language classes? Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, German language classes might be something that they believe is more important first than the additional training. Unfortunately, when this happens, there's not much you can do about it. So if your agent believes that this is something you should do first, yeah, he has a point in a way. And again, there's nothing you can do about it really, because then this has priority. However, I know there is boot camps who combine it. So I think Le Wagon and Spice and Ironhack, they give basically combined coding classes with German languages. So maybe you want to check this out. The Bildungszielplan that I showed, this one is specifically for Berlin, but I'm pretty sure you can find it for other cities as well. If you look out for it, you would need to Google. I only know about Berlin so far, but I'm pretty sure that you can find it as well for other cities. Now, there was the question about where to find those classes. It's called CourseNet. And let me write it in the chat. 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. So I wrote in the chat the page that you can check for Weiterbildung. Right. Yeah, again, a native speaker, I wouldn't say that learning German has priority in the job center. And if you can convince your agent that, for example, in Berlin, it's very easy to find a job, even as an English speaker. For example, giving our team, we don't have. I'm the only German speaker in our team. In your preparation process, I would then show on LinkedIn, bring maybe 3 examples and say, look, German is not required for this. And especially in web development, coding is anyway happening in English, and many teams speak English anyways. So if you can prove that, do the training first, and then you can come up with German afterwards, maybe, but it's not really necessary. You might be able to convince them. All right. Yeah, in the situation where you want to pay yourself, there is different options. Usually, most boot camps offer, or I can speak for us, we offer 2 different payment options, which is installments on a monthly base, or a full price ahead. Depending on the course you choose, for us, it's between 9,000 and 11,000 euro. Depending on the classes, I would always suggest to book a meeting with me first, or my colleague Sarah, that you can find on our website, which is codeacademyberlin.com. Some other boot camps offer the option to have sort of like a salary-based payment, which means that you, for example, only cover 50% of the costs, and then 50% once you find a job, or that you don't pay anything, and then once you start your job, you pay, let's say, 10% of your salary over the next half a year. And yeah, so you can check this out. Last question. We are running out of time a little bit. What happens if you have a Gutschein starting in August, but you find a job in the meantime? That's no problem, because the jobs always have priority. So you can drop out without any costs for you. Jobs always priority, so this goes first. Any tips, people who are self-employed? If you can prove to the job center that you work under 15 hours per week, there might be an option you are eligible for the Bildungsgutschein as well. This you need to try out with the job center. That's always a bit tricky with self-employed. Again, would be happy to cover that later on. If doing a training to become Fachinformatiker, which was covered by the Bildungsgutschein, still apply for another one. Yeah, Carlo, good question. I just had a chat earlier with someone with the same question. This depends very much on your individual case. Again, I would give the same tricks and tips. Show what you are missing. So if you show that in my Fachinformatiker Ausbildung, I learned these technologies, I learned this project-based working, but I am missing, let's say, JavaScript, Python, GitHub, whatsoever, very specific, and then prove the same thing with open job positions where they say, I need this particular skills. Might be an option that they say, okay, then we give you an additional training with a second Bildungsgutschein. And yeah, That's the only advice I can give, but it's always an individual decision of your agent from the job center. I hope I could help you. I see another message. I'm 42 years old. Is it difficult to get a job as a junior developer? Generally speaking, it's still an option. Not too old, let's say. All right. I think that's it from my side so far. Thank you all for participating. Last but not least, I will share again my email and my LinkedIn in the chat, but again, you find it in the slides as well. Feel free to reach out anytime. We will be in the booth as well, my colleague Sarah and me. And so maybe we see you around later on. And again, for any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and enjoy the rest of the talks. And good luck, everyone. And see you around.